When I was upstairs with Casey, she said I have butterflies in my stomach like I do before every fight. I guarantee you she's got them right now.
This is the WBC Interim World Championship at 147 pounds. Between Selcuk Aydin of Turkey, the #1 ranked contender, and Robert Guerrero, who's moving up in weight, 2 weight divisions from 135 to 147. Guerrero in red, Aydin in black. Big right hand by Aydin.
You know, I have Robert Guerrero winning every round. And maybe there were some that were close, but that doesn't really matter because Aydin's in this fight. He keeps landing those right hands, and one of them could change the course of this fight. And it's not as if he's not landing punches. You mentioned he was the Turkish Olympic representative in 2004. Of course, the Olympics underway now in boxing. His style is a pro style, so as an amateur, his style was never going to really get it done. It's amazing he got that far.
Step back.
There's that right hand to the body again. Another right hand up top for Aydin. Aydin gaining some momentum here in the 5th. Looping left hand for Guerrero. Aydin to the body again.
Be a good time for Aydin to work that body, and there's another one to try and slow Guerrero down. One thing Guerrero's not been able to do is hurt Aydin.
But that may be because of the moving up in weight out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think Aydin has hurt Guerrero at all?
I don't think so, even though he landed some really big right hands. But, of course, that could all change in these later rounds when fatigue sets in for both men.
Get off that neck, Robert. Get off that neck.
Body work by Aydin, though. He's hoping that later on in this fight, it'll have a huge effect on a man that's moving up in weight.
And I think Robert Guerrero's punches are being pushed a little bit more right now. They're not quite as crisp as they were early. We'll see.
End of the 5th. We told you this division is loaded. We've got more welterweight action coming up on September 8th.
Brando Bailey, who surprised Mike Jones with a knockout win to win a portion of the welterweight title, and Devin Alexander, who stepped up from 140 and had a very good outing as a welterweight. He's hoping he can win a title on September 8th.
Halfway down, keep it clean. How do you feel? Good? Good. Yeah, keep working. Keep working. Keep working. Good job. Don't let him get you in the corner. That's it. Good job. You know your shit.
Keep using those little left jabs.
Okay. Come on, baby. Hands up.
6th round.
In the last round, Guerrero had his lowest connect number, 13 out of 75, but Aydin only landed 9 of 38.
Nice uppercut by Guerrero.
If Robert Guerrero continues to throw the sheer volume of punches he's throwing and he doesn't get knocked out, it's going to be hard for him to lose this fight because he's throwing so many more punches than Aydin, and Aydin is, you know, just landing from time to time.
And this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a graphic example. I mean, that's a huge edge. And you see the edge in terms of punches landed is not monstrous. But he's throwing so many.
But Al, does activity really matter that much?
I think it does when you don't have the luxury of somebody counting punches exactly correctly. You know, he's been much busier and he has landed more punches than Aydin. So I think that activity is important. But there's a nice right hand again by Aydin. I mean, you don't want to reward a fighter just for activity, but a lot of those punches, if they didn't land, they're bouncing off something and they're pretty close.
Robert, let's go.
Guerrero looking over at his corner. Aydin just moving straight ahead.
You know, Guerrero's been cut in 4 of his fights due to clashes of heads. Not tonight. We haven't seen anything like that yet. Of course, we saw it in our first fight where Sean Porter had a terrible cut. But so far, at least that Guerrero has avoided. Aydin still landing the right hand occasionally that looks like it's going to make an impact.
Straight right hand getting through again for Aydin.
I mean, Selcuk Aydin has no technique, honestly. He doesn't do anything well or right, but he's a tough guy, and he's got power in that right hand. And that has won him 23 fights and has him in this fight.
Aydin telling us, I always fight to dominate. I want to be in the center of the boxing world, and I know that coming to the United States and finally getting an opportunity to fight for a world championship, I am at the center of the boxing world. Let's go into Aydin's corner.
Get him some ice. Ice. Get him some ice. Bring the ice back.
You're getting too close. You keep jabbing.
Pick them apart out here, all right? Yeah, and Chico, everything, all right? Put it together, yeah. Okay, fantastic. Keep that jab going, baby.
Ruben Guerrero, the trainer.
You're fantastic.
Money in the bank, baby.
The father of Robert Guerrero.
Hey, watch that fucking right hand.
Dad got into a little pushing and shoving at the press conference as well yesterday.
Let's go.
Now, we talked about the activity of Aydin. He threw the fewest number of punches he has in this fight in the last round. Only threw 27 punches. And he was outpunched by a total, or outlanded by 15 punches by Guerrero. So, Aydin is going to have to pick up the pace, or he's going to have to get lucky, if you will, or fortunate with one of those right hands. If Aydin would win this fight, he would become the first ever Turkish champion. This is for an interim championship. And those are the numbers I talked about in the last round. Stark difference in terms of the activity. Good body work by Aydin. And of course, that would be a great idea for him right now. If he believes he can fatigue Guerrero and land something big at the end of this fight or toward the end. Guerrero's been down only once against Joel Casamayor. He was hurt by Salido a couple of times by right hands.
But as our Twitter follower stated, Guerrero just putting rounds in the bank.
Yes, and there's no question he's way ahead. I've only given one round to Aydin. That's my very unofficial scorecard. And the pace of this fight has slowed. Aydin is not attacking as much, and Guerrero, who I think was operating a lot off of adrenaline and his emotional state coming into this fight and the crowd reaction has also slowed his pace a bit, even though he's still throwing a lot of punches.
And I think what you're also seeing,
oh my,
nice uppercut by Aydin. As Guerrero told us, another uppercut by Aydin.
He doesn't want to languish on the inside.
Another uppercut by Aydin. Guerrero not answering.
Guerrero looks a little fatigued right now.
Breathing out of his mouth.
And not much on those punches by Robert Guerrero. Those are arm punches.
Uppercut, double uppercut by Selcuk Aydin.
This round could be a fight changer.
Step back, Jen. Let's go box.
Robert Guerrero told us that he's not going to stand in front of Selcuk Aydin and that skills pay the bills. But in this round, the 7th, Selcuk Aydin with brute strength and street fighter type attitude may have turned things around. Selcuk Aydin fans.
This uppercut, while Guerrero's landed some great uppercuts, there was one from Aydin, and he would land another one in this round as well that was very, very strong. And Guerrero leaning in and bending his head down, making it easier for the uppercut to land, and there is another look. And I'll tell you what, those punches are tough. And for the first time in this fight, Aydin landed the exact same number of punches as Guerrero at 16, and in my opinion won the round because of how hard his punches were.
Casey. The 8th round, scheduled for 12. In the welterweight division, 147 for the WBC Interim World Championship.
And if Robert Guerrero was fighting a 140-pounder, 135-pounder, would those big power punches he landed earlier have done somebody in? Not against the 147-pounder. And look at him go.
With the crowd behind him. He's responding to the 7th.
Trying to reestablish, and he always throwing his punches with more conviction, but still languishing on the inside, Guerrero. That's what's making this fight interesting.
Aydin blocking a lot of those punches as Guerrero moves his hand, double, triple, uppercut. Just touching.
Guerrero's off to a blazing start in this round.
Aydin barely missing with that last uppercut. It was effective in the 7th. Short right hand. There's the uppercut, getting through.
This is absolutely the wrong place for Guerrero to be, right on the inside. Just couldn't be a worse place for him. And look at him eat those uppercuts.
Now he comes back with a 4-point punch combination, though. And a 1-2 off the break.
Worst place for him, best place for the fans. What a fight. And Aydin doing something very smart. They're going to the body, Gus.
Guerrero leaning over, so dangerous, makes him susceptible to the uppercut when he's inside.
This is a round in which the activity of Guerrero might well win him this round, even though Aydin's landed some showy punches, Guerrero has as well. Be interesting to see. And we've still got 40 seconds left in it.
If Aydin could figure out when he's inside how to actually step back and get leverage on that uppercut, it may cause Guerrero some major troubles as he throws a 3-punch combination.
That was a great right hook by Guerrero that I thought might hurt Aydin. It didn't.
Tough round.